Welcome back to our Pokédex retyping series, where we spin a wheel and let fate decide every Pokemon's new type. Next up, Charmander. And this time we got Rock type. Having adapted to harsh volcanic terrain over countless generations, this Charmander developed an obsidian underbelly for protection. The hardened volcanic stone at the end of its tail has replaced its flame, forming a heavy, club-like weapon used to strike down its foes. For abilities, we gave it Rock Head and Solid Rock, which felt pretty fitting. Stat-wise, compared to a regular Charmander, this version leans much more into defense, sacrifices a bit of speed and attack in exchange for high HP and overall bulk. He is also put on a bit of weight, being made of rock and all. Like most of my sculpts, I started from a simple sphere, and a very poorly drawn sketch of what I had in mind. I tend to sketch in 3D as I go anyway, but I like having at least something rough to guide my direction. A bit of sculpting later, I was left with this noseless monstrosity. After recovering from that nightmare, I started refining him to feel more like Charmander, reshaping the body, defining the silhouette, and adding flatter planes to suggest hardened, rocky surfaces where I felt it made sense. Originally, his undertail had this rocky scale pattern going on, but I scrapped that idea. Instead, I went with more organic rock forms flowing down from his belly, finishing in that heavy obsidian club at the tip. I also added scratches along the back of his tail, like he can't always hold the weight of it up, so when he's not in battle, it drags behind him across the ground. Once the sculpt was finished, it was time to pose him. I tried a few different stances before landing on something that just felt rock solid. I'm honestly really happy with how he turned out. Obsidian wasn't even the original plan, but it ended up defining the whole design. I especially love his little obsidian teeth. Now I'm handing him over to Tash for printing and painting.
After a quick sand and prime, I started layering different hues of brown, flicking on tiny specks of paint to build up a rocky texture that I had in mind. And then I stepped back and realised it looked absolutely terrible. And I wanted to do Charmander justice because I literally have him tattooed into my skin. So naturally, I reprimed him and started again, this time leaning into more of a clay terracotta feel. Since this Charmander was now a rock type, I really wanted to push those warm earthy tones. I even went out and specifically bought what I thought was the perfect obsidian shade for his belly, only to come home from work and discover it had dried into some weird murky brown for reasons I still don't understand. So we improvised. I mixed in some of the bright purple I had previously used on our Bulbasaur project and ended up with this deep obsidian meets amethyst tone that actually worked way better. From there, I laid on a base coat of white in his soulless little eyes and painted his tiny teeth the same. I went with white teeth and politely ignored Luke's original obsidian teeth design, something that he didn't find out until he started editing this video. Then I carefully traced out Charmander's signature pupils to bring him back to life. To finish it off, I added some subtle highlights to the obsidian areas with the airbrush and sealed everything in a few coats of UV resin to give it that crystal-like shine. After that, he caught some rays and went for one final spin in the wash and cure box. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our next video, Charmeleon.